Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today we're going to do a wrap-up video. Earlier, I guess in June, I asked if you guys would rather see wrap-ups of the kits or a couple of processes, since I'm going to be taking June and July off mostly this summer, and most of you said that you wanted to see wrap-ups. So I do have a wrap-up for the Old Testament Revival Camp. This is kit 1 of 2. I did just post an unboxing of kit 2 with a giveaway, so I will link that down below if you guys want to check that out. But let's take a look at the entries that I did for the first kit of Revival Camp from Illustrated Faith. Now, there are tons and tons of scripture in here. I hope to have some time to come back and do some more journaling, some more entries, but I wanted to share with you the 5 that I've done so far. Usually what I do is I kind of do like a once through, do one entry for each, section, and then I can kind of come back through and follow up as I have more time. So this is the physical kit. You do have the digital version as well. I'll link everything down below for you guys. And here's just a look at the intro page that I did. I've shown this in a couple of the videos just so you can kind of see what I did. I took the digital version, printed it out, ran it through my typewriter, added some extra little goodies in there, used one of the Beloved Society stamp sets from Illustrated Faith. I don't think that this one is available any longer. It's out of stock, but if it's in stock, I will link it down below for you guys. But I just went in and kind of added some stickers, did some highlighting. I do plan on coming back and adding some tip-ins in here so that way I can do some journaling as well. It's just been kind of a crazy summer, so I'm kind of doing bare minimum. But let's take a look at the entries that I've done. So the first one here is for the Promises Fulfilled devotional, and this is the one that was written by Brianna, and I have it here in Genesis chapter 9 verses 13 through 17. I do have a process video for this one, so I will link it down below for you guys. I'm just using a combination of some of the, I think this is from the Sunny Days collection or maybe the Let's Travel collection. I will link everything down below, including that video. It'll have those links. But I pulled out a bunch of products from my stash, some Felicity Jane, to go along with this prompt. We're talking about Rainbow of Promise, and so some of the imagery that Brianna touches on is the, of course, the rainbow that God puts in the sky as his promise to Noah and the rest of humanity that he's not going to flood the world again. And so this is kind of what I ran with as I did this entry here. So there is the first one. Now for the second one, All to Him, this is done by Heather Greenwood, and it looks like we're going to be in Genesis as well. This is Genesis chapter 22, the sacrifice of Isaac. So where Abraham is commanded by God to take Isaac up and sacrifice him. At the last second, God stops him and ends up providing a ram or sheep for him, and so we're talking about that here in the devotional content from Heather. I do believe that I have a process video for this one as well. I will link it down below. Just using some bits and pieces from the devotional kit. This is some of the die cut pieces that come in the kit, as well as some extra little embellishments that you could purchase. Those extras, I do believe, are sold out over at illustratedfaith.com, but I will have links down below for where you can get them at like scrapbook.com or some other places online as well. I got the stencil. I don't see it right here, but I did get the stencil from the Cartabella collection to go along with this, and I've really been loving it, been using it a bunch. You can see how I do that in the process video that I'll link down below. I did also go ahead and do some stitching directly into a Bible page, which I don't do very often because it does, come through to the back side of the page, but these alpha stickers that I had, these stickers, don't stick very well, and so I decided to just go ahead, sew it on there, and then when I come to this page back here, I can always just add a big die cut element or a tip-in or something like that to cover up where I stitched. I talk a little bit more about that in the process video that you can check out down below. But you can see I try to keep things pretty simple when I'm working in the summer because it's busy. So let's go ahead and turn to the third entry here. Okay, so next up we have Spiritual Rock from Janet, and I've always loved Janet's devotional content that she does. She did a wonderful devotional set in last year's Revival Camp, so I was really looking forward to this year's, and so I definitely plan on coming back and revisiting some of her prompts back here since I was only had time to do one, but she just really writes from the heart and does an amazing job. So for this entry, I'm working in Isaiah and this is going to be 48:21, and she prompts us to listen to the song Open Heaven by Hillsong Worship, and then write down the lyrics in your Bible or prayer journal and document what God speaks into your heart. So what I did was I went and found that song, and then I typed out the lyrics and kind of created this fun little flip element. Now, I do not have a process video for this one. This is just one that I did off camera. And so I took some of the papers from the Crate Paper Here and There collection, and I first typed out all the lyrics on just a scrap piece of paper to see kind of what the width was going to be for each verse or section of the song, and then cut down my papers accordingly, and then I just brushed on some white paint to give myself a clear space to type on, and then I went ahead and just fed these papers through my typewriter and typed out the lyrics, and then I just created this fun little flip element directly onto the page with all the lyrics to that song. So that way I can get all of them on there and it's not taking up, you know, tons and tons of space. It does leave me in the back here a space where I was able to add some prayer journaling that's a little more private. It's not, you know, if somebody's just flipping through my Bible, they're not going to see that necessarily unless they're digging for it. I did go ahead and use that stencil. Once again, I'll have it linked down below. I believe that I just blended some Distress Oxide ink in ripe persimmon, probably either ripe persimmon or dried marigold, and then I took one of the Illustrated Faith colored pens and then through the stencil just drew around the little circles, and that just added this fun kind of shaded detail in that stencil. I did go ahead and kind of position it so it created this like arrow effect pointing to where the verse is. Used some alpha stickers from Felicity Jane, some die cuts that came in the Illustrated Faith kit. This was some of the tassels from the Here and There collection. If they're still available, I'll have those linked down below as well. And then just using some more bits and bobs from the kit. So actually very, very simple, not a lot of artwork, but a nice, fun, vibrant statement piece. All right, next up for the fourth devotional. Okay, so this is Victory Begins with Praise. This one is by Taylor, and I am working in 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verses 5 through 12. This is Jehoshaphat's prayer, and I kind of did something really different. So I didn't use very much from the kit at all. I do not have a process video for this one, but all I did was took 3 different colors of Distress Oxides inks, blended them onto the page, added a little bit of water to give it that fun texture, and then just use some alpha stamps. So this is the alpha from Jen Scow. She did an alpha that Illustrated Faith had in their shop. I don't think it's available in their shop any longer, but I will link it down below where you can get it from Jen Scow's shop. And then this is an alpha from Felicity Jane, and I just typed out or stamped out part of the lyrics to this song here that really reminded me of this prayer talking about how we fight our battles with, you know, God behind us and all around us, and just kind of left a big statement piece there. Now for these Distress Oxide ink blends, I get a lot of my inspiration from Christina Warner. She's a card maker on YouTube. I will put her Instagram down below because in her Instagram, she has a hashtag, I'll put it down below as well, where she does different blends of Distress Oxides. And so it kind of gives you some ideas of different colors that blend well together and different combinations to try out that maybe you hadn't thought of before. I love using Distress Oxide inks. They're really, really fun. You can see here, I did not use gesso. This is just blended on with a makeup brush, just building up the intensity of color. I did spray it with water, and even with the water, there is no bleed through. This is just where it kind of like peeked underneath the page, but no real bleed through with these colors. I believe that this is going to be Worn Lipstick, Festive Berries, and Scattered Straw were the 3 colors that I used, and then when you overlap them, you get some additional colors in there as well. So there is that page, nice and simple. And then the last one, so this is for Merge from Tamara, and this is going to be in Isaiah chapter 30, verses 1 through 2, I believe. And so I just threw a bunch of stuff at the page. So at this point I was done. I was kind of at the end of the devotional unless I come back and do some more entries, but I have tons of die cuts and pieces left. So I just took a bunch of the die cuts from the Here and There collection as well as some of the Cartabella pieces and layered those up. This is even the top sticker piece from the devotional kit itself. Layered everything up, created a big title, Do You Trust Your GPS More Than God? And so in her devotional, she's kind of talking about, you know, how much we rely on our GPS and, you know, maybe sometimes we need to just give it over to God, trust that He's going to lead us where we need to go, and kind of go from there. So that's what she kind of talks about in the devotional. I do plan on coming back and taking some more notes and things like that. But for this entry, I just wanted a big, bold title just to kind of remind me, you know, what we talked about with this verse. Again, using one of the little tassels from the Here and There collection, some more pieces from the devotional kit. I am keeping the kit in one of these traveler's notebooks pieces, and so I have keep all my supplies in here, as well as a little dish. I have all the die cut pieces and things like that. Actually, it's not a dish, it's a drawer right here. So I keep everything together, and this is how much I have still left over. I did add some additional, you know, collections in here, so I have lots of bits and pieces to work through with the New Testament part of Revival Camp, as well as some other projects that I might want to do throughout the summer. So there is a look at the 5 entries that I've done for Revival Camp Old Testament. Like I said, you can check out the unboxing for the New Testament, and I'll have a wrap up at the end of the month with that kit as well. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below. Check out the description box for links to everything that I mentioned. Definitely go check out that unboxing for the giveaway that's going on over there. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.